Hi, I'm Peter, and this is the Peter on Health channel. This video is called Enneagram and the Brain. I guess I could have called it Personality in the Brain, which is the title of a self-published book. This is a book that I wrote in the early 2000s and self-published it in 2005, just before my daughter was born. I self-published it just because I'd been working on it for a couple of years and didn't want to be distracted because I figured I was like 42 and was a new dad and um, that would consume a bunch of learning. So this is the website where I self-published it. The URL for the PDF doesn't work. It was on Dropbox. I moved it to Google Drive, so I'll put this link in the description. If you want to download a PDF, read on a Kindle or whatever. It's a long book, over 200 pages. The basic story behind this: the Enneagram is a theory of personality with 9 types. Blah blah blah. If you know that already, you know that. If you're a person who never heard of the Enneagram, you're like, oh yeah, whatever. If you're a religious person who, like kind of thinks the Enneagram is a spawn of the devil and blah, 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 blah. I will just say, the story of me and the Enneagram, I've been married twice. And the first marriage I was in ended in 1996. And this current marriage I'm in started, around the year 2000. So there was like a 5-year gap, roughly, 2001, a 5-year gap in between my 2 marriages. And during that gap, I started thinking about personality and temperament. And I had some friends who gave me a book. Now, they give me this book during my first marriage. And then in between the 2 marriages, when I was, divorced but not married yet again, they gave me this book again. It's Helen Palmer's, it's right here, I'll put this link in the description, Helen Palmer's Enneagram in Love and Work. And, to write this book, I read closely Helen Palmer's book and also these authors, Riso and Hudson, personality type. So these are the 2 books I based my analysis on. And on this site, you'll have in the description, I have the book, and then I have URLs for the chapters down here. But it's 200 pages, so there's a paper I put in, like 7-page paper. That's really just like kind of a summary of the book. It's not like a paper per se. Here's the paper. And I just go like how I looked through the Enneagram and I teased out, optimism and pessimism. Like, because that's what the words they describe, behaviors and thinking. And it turns out to be, hey, this is going to work out for me, or, oh, this won't work out for me. That's pessimism. And then also there's these phrases I used: unaware fear and aware fear. That means like, we're disturbed by something and we'll get a jolt in our heart and everything. And some people that, that fear or that apprehension or that whatever, like just off-putting or even desire, turns out in the science, will come into our conscious brain and we're like, oh, I know that. And then for some of us, it just kind of comes unawares. It's like, hey, we're suddenly aroused. Our friends notice we're aroused, but we don't notice it. So that's unaware. Anyway, so I teased these out from the 3x3, the Enneagram, and then I studied brain papers. Researchers who had described these things sitting in our prefrontal cortex and our amygdala, these traits. And that's what this book is about. It's a hypothesis linking the Enneagram theory to functions in the prefrontal cortex, which is right around here, and the amygdala, which is just inside our temples, and says, you could be left, right, or both. Left, right, or both. 3 times 3 is 9. That's what's the hypothesis.